We are now just less than 5 months away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is really going to serve as a movie that's really going to make us view the past 8 Star Wars movies in a different light, as well as viewing the Star Wars franchise as a whole in a different way, which, by the way, like I've always expressed before in the past, is a big risk by Disney and Lucasfilm, especially for the Star Wars community and exactly what they want to do for this film. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting between Rey, Anakin, and other aspects of the Force. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of Rey traveling to a place called the Lost City, where it's described that Rey is on her way to discovering the Prime Jedi Temple. It's said that one of the sequences during her travels is said to include the Force Ghost voice of Anakin Skywalker, guiding her to the most important location in the Lost City, which is said to be the Shrines of the Wills, which is said to contain a total of 6 statues of the Wills, where each and every will contains its own ancient book. Anakin's Force Ghost is said to guide Rey to this location and reveals to her the knowledge that the Wills left behind within the Lost City. It's explained that Rey discovers through the help of Anakin the ancient order of the Wills, where Rey is said to learn that the Wills are immortal beings who feed off of the Force and control the universe, and are able of creating certain destinies of certain people such as the Chosen One or multiple Chosen Ones. Now, the Wills are actually directly responsible for creating the Chosen One prophecy and even inspired ancient Jedi to inspire themselves to create the actual Chosen One prophecy for the character of Anakin Skywalker. So, what I like about Episode 9 already is, of course, you can see how the Wills are becoming a highlight in this movie. We do know that George Lucas originally intended the Wills to be focused on, of course, his original version of his sequel trilogy that a lot of fans would have loved to see on the big screen, because the Wills are these godlike beings. A lot of fans have always wanted to see what they look like and what they are capable of doing. So now that they're going into the Disney canon of the Star Wars universe and how we are going to finally see what they are capable of, I will say that the Wills are going to be very important in the storyline. So, in this particular scenario, we have a moment in which Rey travels to the Lost City and hears the Force Ghost voice of Anakin. Now, the reason as to why Anakin is guiding her to the Shrines of the Wills, as it's called, which is a total of 6 statues of the Wills, indicating that there are only 6 Wills in existence. Now, we do know that there is at least one fallen Will, which could very well mean that there were originally 7, because the fallen Will is what Darth Maul's hologram talks about in Episode 9 at some point in time. Now, the Wills were created by George Lucas, and now it makes a lot of sense as to why they are back, is because, well, George Lucas was heavily involved in the rewriting process during the months of November and December of 2018. And that was pretty much used for a majority of the reshoots throughout 2019 this year. Now, the Wills are going to be a very important piece for Rey and her development as a character when she travels to the Lost City for this primary reason. She learns more about the Wills, and she discovers a thing called the Ancient Order of the Wills. That the Wills are these immortal beings that feed off of the Force and are even able to creating certain one's destinies, including the Chosen One prophecy and the Chosen One itself. Now, that's a very interesting side of Star Wars that literally changes how we view the franchise right there in one sequence and one sequence only. Now, I'm not quite sure how a lot of fans would react to this on the big screen, and how it's really going to be presented is all up to J.J. Abrams, how he wants to edit the scene, how it's going to be executed, and whatnot. The Wills are really going to be a big reveal in this movie that's going to change how we view the originals and, of course, the prequels and part of the sequel trilogy. Now, the Wills, we will be learning more about them, by the way, in case you guys did not know, in the upcoming The Clone Wars Season 7, which is due for release in 2020, as well as future canon materials such as books and novels, etc., that are going to be released throughout the 2020 year. We're going to learn a lot more about Star Wars in the forms of books, comics, and everything else related that are actually besides themselves being as movies. So the last thing I want to go over real quick here is, of course, the statues of the Wills. Now, they're called the Shrines of the Wills, and inside each and every will, there's a different book, an ancient book, if you will. Now, each and every ancient book is said to contain different knowledge of the ancient order of the Wills. Now, the Ancient Order of the Wills we had in both Legends and in canon. Now, in canon, it's not as known, and it's being reworked into Episode 9, and it's really going to be inspired by how it was used in Star Wars Legends / the Expanded Universe, which I honestly think is the better way to go, that they are staying true to the Legends version of the Ancient Order of the Wills and changing things around here and there to really better suit the characters of the Wills and how they have such an impact on the universe. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.